Till they finish casting. Yeah.
Actually did the Gordon Liddy show
So
one
there's
time with
a-
Aaron Tippin.
The, bur- you
I
know,
love
the
it.
burglars, they stayed here for a reason. They're known as White House burglars. I mean, the Watergate burglars.
Watergate
So this is a Watergate. A lot of people don't realize there's a complex. So see how the pictures
Yes.
are? So we're right here in the hotel right now.
Uh-huh.
This building is where they break in. That's across from us. See how the people are there?
Uh-huh.
So 2600 is where the break-in happened. So that's where the DNC office was there.
Okay.
This is across from there. Now it's a building that's a college from the GW campus building. Used to be Howard Johnson. And that's where the mastermind, Gordon, the rest, they stayed there. So they were keeping an eye from there. And the other burglars stayed here. They had someone on the third floor keeping an eye to make sure they all left. At that day, I forgot his name, one person, he stayed up late. So they had to wait for him to leave, the last person. So because he left late, the security guards changed. And it just happened, everything is, luck and coincidence.
Yeah.
Sir Frank Willis, if it wasn't for him, this would never happen. He's the one that found the tape and called the police. So he tried to get a job here, he was hired security, so he was a second shift. So when the other guy left, he came in, and because one person left, he came in. If you notice, he's very detail oriented. He walked in on the ground, and I'll show you. So again, see right here, this is Howard Johnson is there. This is the building right here. We're right here. So we're right here on second floor. So they came from the other side, crossed stairs, they went through the alley, came in and opened the door. And I'll show you right here. Watch your steps. It gets a little dark. So this is the building. Howard Johnson there. So they came through the this is what employees entrance to our hotel, and also the building for that entrance there. That's where the door is. So the one of the gentlemen, there are five of them. What he did was he broke the he unlocked it. Excuse me. Oh, that's not them. So they put this tape, instead of putting it to hold the door open, instead of putting it like this way, he put it this way, because he was afraid he was gonna roll. And that's when he noticed he was doing his routine. He saw that, he told the cleaning staff, don't do it. He removed it. And the second time he came in, he realized there was a tape again on there. Then he called the police. I think most people might not have called the police. They might, send memo or whatever.
Right.
Once he called the police were sending police officers in a black and white car, but they stopped to get a gas. So what they did was they sent, hi, okay. So security. We didn't break in. That's what if you call our hotel, it says you don't need to break in.
Yeah.
When he called the police, so the black and white car stopped to get a gas. Another coincidence. So they called the other police. These three police showed up. So these guys were undercover, working undercover. They just finished. They said, you know what, we'll stop by. And when they came in on the other side, and the people that look out from Howard Johnson, they saw them. They told the guys to wait. Once they came out, he saw them. He goes, continue. They're just some hippies. Because they're undercover, he didn't think they were police.
Right.
Otherwise, they would have sneaked out and came back. And the reason they picked the other group that was staying here, see how you can connect right here?
Uh-huh.
Climb up there, go there. So what they did was, they broke in down here, and see this right here? So the number one entrance is right there. Yeah. Number two is right up here, the terrace. So they would go here, get in. And the third one is on the other side. So they had a tape on three of them. So when the three police investigators came in, and once dressed like hippie, they noticed there were three break-in. They realized that was a DNC headquarters, so they called for backup. And when they start coming in, the flashlight and everything, the lookout guys saw them. He asked the guys, is that your lights? They're like, it's not ours. He told them to hide, but more police came in, the backup. And Gordon Liddy and the other people that were staying on the Howard Johnson, they ran out. But the five people were inside. When the police came in, and then that's how they found them. And you'll see this in the documentaries and movie. And then, of course, this is the stuff they found right up here. So what they did was they found these. These are guys known as the Watergate burglars. There were five of them, American and Cuban. So every time you have international people, you have to call the FBI, and then of course when you go, they realized this was a DNC, so they contacted FBI. So when they came in, I found out that they didn't communicate to them, they wouldn't speak, they wouldn't tell them anything, only when they went to court. And this is our arresting paper right here. So 5 of them got arrested. The first news to pick it up was CBS, because the major broadcasters, they were on the trail with Nixon and the other Democrats. So CBS picked it up. They sent I forgot her name from 60 Minutes. Her name was here. She's young, so they sent her. And then Washington Post realized if CBS sent in her, there must be something. Let's send somebody else. So they picked. He was young, Bob Woodward. They picked him. He was. Sir Bernstein was working on something different. He's like, mine sounds boring. So he's like, let me join you. So those 2 and her, they went to court. And that's when it started getting bigger, because when the judge asked what they do for the occupation, he kind of whispered. He told him to speak up. He says, I'm a former CIA. So when they realized they heard former CIA, Cubans, DNC, it's getting bigger. It's not just any burglary.
Yeah.
And he was also later discovered. At that time, Mr. John Mitchell was Attorney General. His wife, security guard, was him. Yeah, you could take a picture. Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, and he's the one. I don't know why he's a CIA, former CIA. He's the one that put the tape on this side instead of straight. Otherwise, everything could happen. And they did start breaking in May, so they got caught in June. So they were breaking in for a while.
Yeah.
So they were putting hearing devices. They were breaking the cabinet, taking pictures, all that stuff. So one night they got caught. So all that planning, these are the people that most of these. That's Gordon Liddy. They got a new movie coming up. This is how I knew him. Most of these went to jail, like some were 24 months. Some of them made money, books, and story. Except Mr. Frank Willis, he got a raise 50 cents to the break-in, and then when the news took a year or 2, it became a more national and everything. He asked for a raise. He was let go. He had his own problems at the same time, but he could never find a job here. He was in the movie. If you remember, I don't know if you watched the movie. This one right here, All the President's Men, Robert Redford and Dustin Hoffman. So he was in that movie. He actually opened the door, but it was like 2 minutes, and then he didn't get paid that much if he did. So he ended up moving to his mother in North Carolina to help her. He passed away about 30 years ago, his cancer. So everybody's still making money, but he was, yeah.
Yeah, everybody else monetized, but him.
Yeah.
It's like
I take a picture
Michael,
of that
yeah.
Woodward.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I don't know if you ever heard of him before he passed away. He came up. He was known as an infiltrate. So, he was the second in command in the FBI. He was the one who was giving us the information for Woodward and Bernstein to write all the information. They wrote it a lot. I believe they were offer like 30,000 each something, but they never took it. But he came out finally. He goes, I'm the infiltrate. Now I tell people, we have a lot of students from college. They do, reporting.
Yeah.
But I still find 6 years old, 7 years old, they're into story. They come up. So when I said Pro, they try to find him. They Google it. Don't Google it.
No.
See somewhere else.
God, that's what I was thinking now. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not sure I would
I don't
pick
know
that
why
name.
you picked that name. So I had some kids here. They like, Mom. I'm like, no. That's just it's a true story. I was like, no.